Hello, I am Matt. This is Whatcast. Back again with a third part now of Flat Earth Dave talking nonsense to a podcast. Quite a recent video. Before we get onto this, Dave's going to go full religion by the looks of things. I haven't watched any more, so I'm going to be reacting with everybody else to these videos that I do here. But before I get on to that, I just want to address something. I put a debate up yesterday. And I made a big mistake yesterday talking to this flat earther on TikTok. The debate's up, last video I put up. And there was a guy on there that led me to believe that he had videoed the sun above him in Texas at the same time that another flat earther in Australia had videoed the sun in the sky. And he's telling me, this is impossible, this is impossible. And I'm just like, well, if he's got that, I'm going to be stupid enough for some reason to believe a flat earther. So I was trying to explain ways why, like, that the sun's not just above your head, it's 93 million miles away, and that's why this might be possible, because someone was showing me where the Terminator line was, and it was possible for, in extreme cases, to them to both have daylight at the same time. But upon further investigation, for complete honesty, it doesn't happen. You cannot see the sun in the sky anywhere in Australia at the same time as you see it above your head or anywhere in Houston, Texas. So I was an idiot for believing that a flat earther was being honest and they had evidence. So I will be chasing down this flat earther and asking him to see his evidence the next time I see him. But I just wanted to clear that up because people are telling me that. And yeah, my bad. Let's get into Flat Earth Dave now then. Here he is, about to go full religion. Let's see what he's got to say here.
Need to make excuses for over 200 Bible verses that they just got it wrong, but they got everything else right. Right?
No, I'm just saying.
What else did they get right?
Like, for example, when John wrote in Revelations about the Twin Towers, he didn't say buildings or a plane. He said there was 2 Mount Towers that were destroyed, or I think it was plummeted by a flying object, right? Well, no, it didn't say flying object. In Spanish, it says ave. I don't know how you say that.
A bird?
Yeah, like a bird. Yeah. And we now know, oh, man, that sounds like the Twin Towers. You know, he didn't get it wrong. It's just sometimes it's what.
So when God said the earth is placed on pillars, it's immovable.
No, well, if God said that, then that's what it is.
It's so weird that all that's left really is the absolute morons and the religious people. So Dave's suddenly religious. He said in his debate with Professor Dave, and when he was talking to me, that he wasn't religious. Because I said I couldn't give a fuck about religion. And he was like, no, me neither. It's not a religious thing and whatever. I don't know if he said it before we was on or when we was on. I haven't watched it in like years. But that's definitely been his position. But now suddenly he's a Bible believer and it's all a fact.
Okay, well, that's what it is. It's not a ball. It's flat. They knew what they were talking about.
Yeah, and talking donkeys.
So, quick question for you, Dave.
Yeah.
I believe in 2 things. I don't know if you believe in those 2 things. I believe we never went to the moon.
That's a good.
I believe in that too.
And I believe there is probably more land mass beyond the Antarctica. I believe there is more to see, or there is something to see.
So here's the thing, and I always preface this. We don't need to speculate what's beyond 60 degrees south, where the Antarctic Treaty starts, or what's above us, or go back in history to prove the shape of the Earth. We can do it here now from where we are. But I do like to speculate what's beyond the shoreline of Antarctica that some people call the...
He don't want to talk beyond 60 degrees south, because then he'd have to address the 24-hour sun in Antarctica, and he definitely doesn't want to do that. Do you, Dave?
Ice wall, right? This isn't flat Earth. This is flat Earth. This is the shoreline of our world, Antarctica. And it's higher than the water.
Yeah, where was that on the videos when everybody went to Antarctica, these people on the final experiment, and they recorded the entire journey, flat earthers and normal people, globers, call them, globers is such a lame name. Anybody that refers to yourself as that other word, like, it's so stupid. Nobody filmed these ice walls out of the window of the plane. But Dave's saying that they're just there. Don't care if anyone's filmed them or not.
So there's let me just go through this for you. So a few years ago, we were looking at some ship tracking devices. Whoops, where is it? Got to go down a little bit. Some ship tracking websites, and you can see that you can go on these. These are free sites or paid sites. We had a paid site, and we see all these ships. You can click on them, get all the information, what's going on the ship, where it's going, where the captain is, where it's registered. But we saw a ship out. We're like, how does a ship get all the way that far in Antarctica? 730 miles, right? According to Google Earth, that's 1.9 miles higher than the ocean. So there has to be a canal going 730 miles into Antarctica with 2-mile high walls on the side. That doesn't seem feasible. Then we saw another one, 900.
Where are the walls? Nobody's ever filmed these walls. There was just ice shelves. People were showing you where they was going to the final experiment, Dave. Like actual footage. What you don't have. People were showing you. Nobody was seeing these enormous fucking walls that you keep talking about.
5 miles from the closest water. How can that be? So we click on the ship, right? By the way, that's over 2.3 miles higher than the ocean. So we click on the ship, and it says, all it says is that is a ship that is 850 meters long, which is gigantic, 80 meters wide, and it's registered to the country of Kiribati. Have you ever heard of Kiribati? It's pronounced Kiribat, but it's spelled Kiribati. So you haven't seen that, right? So
no.
So we said, where is Kiribati? What is this? So we look up on Google Earth in the middle of the South Pacific, and it's a tiny little island. I had to put a pin on it so I can see it. And it shows this little sandbar of an island. And now America, China, Vietnam, other countries say that this is a very important trade route, right? And notice, Kiribati, B-A-T-I, Kiribati, right? Go on Google Earth, type Kiribati, brings you right here. And so we're like, why is this an important trade route? What is going on there? Why is a ship that's registered there in the middle of Antarctica, right? So
yeah, that is interesting.
That's interesting. Hold on, it's going to get more interesting. So we looked at the ships.
Don't stop him talking. It's going to get more interesting because I can see that you've never heard of. I don't know what he's talking about. I've never heard anybody talk about this. You can see that bloke's, and this is where Dave kicks in with his salesman patter, like when he was selling the solar panels and shit, right? He's like, this guy's now a bit lost. I'm going to expand on this, and he's not going to know whether I'm telling the truth or not.
Oh, on the island, there's a Captain Cook Hotel. Now, if you know Captain Cook, he's the guy that tried to circumnavigate Antarctica. It should have been 10,000 miles, but he went like 60,000 miles. 60,000 around the outside of a flat Earth.
No. And I've already shown you that it's been circumnavigated. Well, I haven't shown you because you're not here. But in video, in part 1 of this breakdown, I pulled up loads of examples. But flat earthers will just say that that's all lies. Except when Google agrees with them, then it's totally the truth.
Makes more sense of flat Earth. And so there's a Captain Cook. This doesn't prove anything. Super weird. We'll just give it a super weird.
Yeah.
Okay? Super weird. So we looked at all the ships.
Super weird that you believe there's a glass dome over our heads rather than the South Pole.
That are going to this massive dock on this tiny island. And we click on all of them, and they have no information other than destination unknown or destination Christmas Island, which opens up a whole nother rabbit hole. Some people say Kiribati is called Christmas Island, but if you know the whole thing about Christmas and Santa and Satan and nonsense, but all of these ships are weird ships without letting us know where they're going.
Christmas is evil.
Okay, just weird. Why are so many ships at this little island? What do they have there? Bananas? There's not even enough room to grow bananas, right?
Correct.
If you look into the history of Kiribati.
Why are they sitting there saying correct, these two that don't know anything about anything? Correct.
They did nuclear testing there, right? And they talk about, and one of the
what do you mean, yeah? You've never heard of this island until 3 seconds ago. Yeah, that's right.
testimonies is a soldier said, he said, when the bomb went off, I put my hands over my face and I could see the bump of my fingers. Yeah. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. That happens on Bugs Bunny. That doesn't happen in reality, right? And this is about Kiribati.
That's stupid. That's ridiculous. We live on a flat plane with an ice wall around the outside and a big dome over the top of us. The 24-hour sun's impossible, but if you do all these ridiculous light patterns, have multiple suns, the sun can come in and out of the dome as needed. None of that's ridiculous, but this is ridiculous.
Nuclear test. Look, that's supposed to be a nuclear bomb. Look at these. Does that look like a nuclear bomb's going off? You'd be hitting the deck, running the other way, turning your head. This is just a fire or something. I don't know what that is, right? Nonsense. This is a picture they've been using for 30 years, and it's just nonsense.
Are you gonna? Do you think Dave's gonna ever go back to talking about flat Earth rather than all this other drivel that he's coming out with?
Right. So whenever I see nuclear, and something with nuclear bombs, know that they're hiding something.
By the way, I'm still because nuclear bombs are fake as well. So's everything else, dinosaurs, all of that, and history, Tartaria, and everything else they believe. But I'm waiting for this big shocking argument revelation that's coming from this podcast episode that's been promised in the title.
So then we have to look at time zones, right? If the Earth is a globe, you got a line from the North Pole to the South Pole. You got 24 of them, dividing the Earth up into like sections of an orange. And as the Earth spins, wherever the sun is noon. Those how time zones work on your globe, right? You understand that?
No, time zones are political. Dave knows this. I've seen it explained to him 1 trillion times. But he's still going to go there because he knows these two have never heard of this before.
Yep. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Except there's this one weird time zone right here. Right? On the international date line, it zigzags over 3.5 time zones. And what is this weird thing? And what's right here? That's what Kiribati is. Like,
Yeah.
that's just weird. What's it doing there? What does it prove? I don't know what it proves. Just another super weird thing. It's better. Hold on. So we started making videos.
Well, maybe, I mean, I don't know this, and maybe I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong. I was wrong. I addressed being wrong at the beginning of the video. But maybe that island is owned by somebody that wants that island on their time zone. Possibly.
About this. And I'll show you why we made videos. They started going super viral. And all of a sudden, you search Kiribati, it brings you to this island. Brings you to this island. Look where this island is compared to where Kiribati really is. It brings you to an island that has nothing to do with it. And now that we go back to Kiribati, they changed the name. No announcement, no nothing. It's now Kirimati with an M.
Huh.
They changed it. It's now Kirimati. Right? Weird, no? Like,
well, there's two islands in the Balearics. One is called Mallorca. One is called Minorca. Oh, suspicious.
Like they do some very, very weird stuff, right? Another thing about time zones is there's 19 in the north, 24 between the tropics, and 32 in the south. Because if the south is getting bigger on a flat Earth, you got more distances, you need more time zones. So they got all these.
Debunked. Final experiment of just measured from latitude to latitude, and they are converging. You're going to say it's fake, but it's still a fact. You could go do your own experiment to prove that they're getting further apart, Dave, but you won't go, will you? Even though you claim to own 3 Bitcoin, which you could just sell and go see for yourself, but you won't do it because you won't do anything.
These time zones out there make zero sense on a flat Earth. So the question is where is that ship going? And here's what I say. This that was found in a Buddhist temple, 10 centuries old. It was published in a Hawaiian newspaper in 1907, I think. And it's showing all these other continents out here, right? Here we have our world. This would be where we say Antarctica starts. And you have all these continents out there. What if it was an important trade route? Here's Kiribati. And it was going out here.
Oh, how? How's it going to get out there? Underground? How's it going to get out there without all of the air that's contained inside the dome all rushing out through the exit point that the boats go into all of these continents that don't exist?
To maybe trade with the civilizations that are living out here, advanced civilizations. Maybe that's where the Mayans moved to. Maybe that's...
Yeah, the Mayans moved to all of these places on the outside, these little random things that he's just put there. How can it, this is what the fact that these two are not on the floor in hysterics at this point. Like, whatever he's saying about the islands is like, yeah, okay, I've never heard any of that stuff before. Can I debunk it? Never heard of it before. I'm sure 1 million people have seen this and looked into it and realised he's talking utter bollocks. He talks bollocks about everything else, so why would that be true, right? But then he just moves on swiftly to this with the continents on the outside, and they're just both sitting again. Like, no one's ever seen any of this. Like, what do you mean? The way that he's got them depicted as well. Like, even if there was extra land beyond Antarctica, how the fuck would you get there? Is there a little glass door in the glass dome that somehow doesn't affect the gas pressure without a container?
Where the Atlanteans moved.
Because we don't know what happened to the Mayans. No one knows.
Here's the thing. What are they trading? Tuna fish, weapons, computer chips, babies? We don't know.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. You can't deny it. You can't say, because you never even heard of Kiribati until today.
Exactly. That's true.
So
I'm going to look it up immediately when I'm done here.
This makes a lot of sense. Very important trade route.
I bet it's nothing like what he's saying.
Sandbar in the middle of nowhere. Big ships going there. Giant ships. Like that ship, it was bringing supplies to Kiribati, could supply it with everything it needs for 100 years. Right?
Dave, why didn't you track that ship as it went through the dome and to the lands beyond? Why did you stop tracking it when it was where it was when you tracked it? Because you've got no evidence it ever left our realm, as you call it, right?
It's a tiny little island, right? But where's it going? What's going on out here? And we've seen lines of ships, like 1, 2, 3, 4, going out through Antarctica. And that's because Antarctica isn't really there. Antarctica is out there. So is this...
Where's the South Pole then, Dave? That's what maybe Dave could tell us, maybe, because none of the other flat earthers can tell us. Where is the ceremonial South Pole? I'd like Dave to tell us.
It's true? I don't know. But there's more and more evidence lining up to it. If you look into, there's lots of old books like...
No evidence whatsoever, other than the drivel he just spoke with. He's just made up.
The Navigator Across the Ice Wall, the Iron Republic, the Smoky God, all of these old books about land beyond Antarctica. Ships that have gone through the cracks in Antarctica and found more land.
Yeah, books. Total evidence.
Can you name that again? Can you name them again?
The Iron Republic. The Iron Republic.
Iron Republic.
If you go again, my app brings everything together.
Go on my app and get it.
If you go to the books section, books, and then you go to more land, boom.
Or you could just go to Amazon or wherever without getting his app and look. He just made the mistake of telling you what this book is. So please don't get his app just to find out these books. Just remember the name and get them from somewhere else and fill your mind with this bollocks from Amazon rather than from his app.
You got the Iron Republic is right here. You got the Navigator Across the Ice Wall. There's The Worlds Beyond the Poles, another great one.
Great. It's a great one, that The World's Beyond the Poles. But there's a glass dome that comes down at the end of Antarctica, right, of the ice wall. But beyond that, we can carry on living. So I don't know what the point in the dome is then. There's really no point to it because we could just go straight through it and we'd be absolutely fine. So there must be another dome beyond that. In which case, if there's another dome beyond that, why do we need the dome inside? Why do we need the other dome?
The Smoky God, another great one. Now, whether these books are true.
Yeah, Dave never asks these questions. Hang on. How would I survive beyond the dome? That's what's giving me life.
Or not, and they do ring true to me, is they were talking
Nothing rings true to you because you're a fucking liar.
about more land beyond Antarctica 100 years ago and more.
Yeah, and see, I mean, you know, I do have that belief that nothing's further from the truth. So I mean, that's just something to consider.
If you want to say the awesomeness of God, a globe limits God to a limited
Oh, yeah, Dave just remembered he's religious. Oh, let's do some God stuff.
world with limited resources, overpopulated. But if you want to really, go out there.
Oh, my God, I've seen this before. He's going to show this like it's credible. Like, this is what I mean. He tries to mock things like, oh, you really believe we're going through space at these speeds? You really believe people are upside down in Australia? You really believe that their sun's 93 million miles away? Let me give you something really credible. Here's a ridiculous map that no one's ever seen with loads of flat Earths all over it, with lands that nobody's ever seen. This is totally credible.
What if our world was set up like this? We live here. This right ring is Antarctica.
Jesus.
There's more land out here. There's more land out here. And then there's other ponds, pieces of the plane, if you will, or a planet, right? These other worlds are super.
He's saying this with a serious face. Like, he's full on salesman mode now. Look at that. Look at that. He's peddling this as reality. This here. People listen. What is he looking? He started off, I had hope for this person. This person's just buying it all. But this person's not laughing at that. That's speaks volumes.
We're close compared to cosmic distances. They're just tens of thousands of miles away, 100,000 miles away, not incomprehensible, scientifically impossible light years. Now,
scientifically impossible. Funny, if it was scientifically impossible, somebody that's a scientist might have said that's impossible, but none of them have. So, but Dave knows it's impossible with his zero knowledge of anything and thinking that this is credible in any way.
I'm not claiming this is real. I'm saying.
Oh, and then he walks it back. They always do this. Here's this ridiculous thing. I'm not saying that I believe it because he knows that it'll come up against somebody that's going to pull this clip up and say, "What the fuck is that?" And he'll go, "I never said that was. I said that I didn't think it was real."
This makes God amazing. The helio.
No, the heliocentric model would make God. Spheres everywhere, rotating around bigger spheres, is less impressive than this absolute child's drawing that you've got on your fucking screen, is it?
Nonsensical Big Bang universe. I mean, the whole big universe is a Big Bang. Once upon a time, there was nothing. It exploded, became everything.
Nope. There's no explosion. There's an expansion. And there's no evidence that it was nothing that became everything.
Gas turned into balls and made a space vacuum, which is impossible. It's
not a vacuum. It's a area of incredibly low pressure.
Absolute insanity to believe in the globe.
Yeah, I believe we never went to the moon. I like your explanation the other day with J.J. Carroll about how we went to the moon on a tinfoil little capsule. It's ridiculous.
I know they didn't go to the moon.
This is the new one. This is
I know they didn't go to the moon. Oh, here we go to the moon stuff.
The new one. Look at this. What is this? Like a TV screen? Look at this. Would any engineer build this?
Because Dave would know all about what it would take to get to the moon to be able to debunk this, wouldn't he?
Let my kid play in that in the playground. Collapse on you.
Yeah, but you also tell your kid the Earth's flat, so poor kid.
Okay.
Yeah, he does.
No, yeah, I know.
Everyone's laughing. Ha ha ha! Look, as if they go to the moon in that, and they didn't laugh at what he just brought up on the screen of loads of flat Earths on a flat plane. Nobody laughed at that, but everyone's laughing at this.
That's a spaceship. right? So once you unwind NASA, then everything about the Earth. NASA was
okay.
created to make us believe that we can walk on a ball in space.
Well, see, yeah, NASA is very deceiving. But okay, so what about what do you think about SpaceX when Elon Musk has the live stream when he shoots his rockets? And I remember seeing what I was just telling you about, where I seen one where he has multiple cameras on his rockets and they're live streaming. You can see them, and one of them, they lost visual, so they turned the camera, and to show the camera was burned up by it got defective, whatever. But as he's flying out, and what's his name, Neil
deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, he
Dave loves Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Admitted that we're really not past the atmosphere. We're really, because in my telescope I have seen the satellites in the sky, right? So
you're getting all over the place right now because you have not seen satellites. You think you've seen satellites, but I can prove that you haven't.
I have.
No, you can't. You're going to show satelloons and pretend that that's satellites, and you also would pretend that the ISS doesn't exist.
Wait, what we haven't go since. Back since 60.
Oh, there's his app again.
Yeah, that was all cover up to try to supposedly beat the USSR at the time.
Yeah,
that's the story. But they're all in it together. It's all a theater.
Yeah, they're all in it together. None of these countries dislike each other at all. They're all just pretending that America won the space race.
Stage, right? It's all to keep us distracted and to keep.
From what? The amount of times I've been told that over the years. That's a distraction. Anything that happens, that's a distraction from the distraction over there. That's distracting us from that distraction over there. What's it distracting us from? And then they can never tell us.
The population low and to keep us living in fear, because that's how they control us, through fear.
Dave, you literally sell your app through fear. You literally frighten people. You frighten people into believing that everybody's lying to them and that your app is the only salvation to help them out of this. And you monetize that. So don't give me they're trying to control us with fucking fear. You're making a living from fear.
They don't want us to understand that this place was created for us. We're at the center of creation. God is close. That we
he's religious again.
are powerful spiritual beings. That we are eternal, and that we have manifestation abilities.
We're eternal.
Beyond what most can even imagine, and they don't want us to know any of that. And
I might have a chat with my dad later then if he's eternal.
They're using us to create their reality. They can't do it without us, so they need to keep us in fear, have us bang the war drums so we can go to war. They're trying to scare us now with nuclear bombs. I don't know if you guys know, but nuclear bombs don't exist.
Oh yeah, correct.
So again, it's all about fear and control. And if you live on a globe, you live in a very scary, fearful place of lack, place with at least a deluded God, if any God at all. And that's what's going on. So I encourage you to get my app.
And there we have it.
Dave, one of your friends went to Antarctica, and I believe they were asking for you to go, and you didn't want to go. Is that true, or?
Well, it's not that I didn't want to go. It's that it was a false dichotomy where it says if the sun does this, then that. If the sun does that, then this, and that's not true, right? If the sun.
Yeah, unless you say it is. Everything you've said today is if this, then flat Earth. If not, then globe. You've said it all the way through, and then try to pretend that all of it means flat Earth. And then when the thing, do you see how uncomfortable he looked when he brought that up as well? This must be the big argument we're all waiting for.
Circles in Antarctica. It means how well we understand the sky. It doesn't change any of the physical measurements of the Earth. I'm not a sky earther. I'm a flat earther, right? I measure the Earth, right?
I'm not a sky earther. I've just been talking about rockets for 10 minutes.
The lights in the sky. If you want to say that the circling sun proves the shape of the Earth, explain to me how helium and hydrogen can create gravity and make a ball in a vacuum and burn 640 billion tons of fuel every single day for billions of years and never get any smaller.
Why don't you actually go research it or ask a physicist, Dave, rather than just say, I don't understand it, therefore false?
It can hold on to Pluto, but it doesn't affect our moon. Right? When you start looking at all the baggage that comes with that, all it tells us is how well we understand the sun. If you look on the app, the sun.
Okay, ignore all of the other planets. That's a lie. We still live on a sphere because look at the sun.
The sun circles around once a day. It brings its light with it. And we're looking down. We're over the North Pole. We're on God's throne here looking down. So wherever the sun is, if I called somebody, like right when it goes over here, if I called somebody over here.
God's throne. Dave's super religious.
And say, what time is it? Where's the sun? They could be, it's right above my head and it's noon. And so that's how the sun goes around. Now, what goes on out here? I couldn't tell you. The reflective properties of the outer world are that's God's kingdom. Let me just show you. This is a video I put up the other day, and then we'll wrap it up.
Well, we'll wrap it up. We're gonna have to wrap it up now. Sorry, I ran out of time.
Is
1 hour 17 because that's a specific time to run out of time.
I took this, if we live in a dome sky, as the Bible says, Julio, and I had.
Oh no, he's gonna do this again.
This thing here, I got my flashlight, and it made two suns in here. So
no, it made two suns on the outside of there. We'd be inside of there if you're now living on column Earth or whatever that is. What the fuck? It's no longer a dome that goes like this anymore. It's cylinder Earth.
Zoomed in, and I created this, and I'm circling it around. So here's somebody in the north, and the sun is circling in one clockwise direction. And here's
but when the two suns meet in the middle, nobody sees two suns at the same time moving away from each other.
somebody in the south, and it's going
But that don't matter.
counterclockwise. And I don't believe these people can see that sun, and this person can see that sun.
Why would you not believe that? They're both, neither of those suns would set, because if the Earth was flat, the sun would never set.
So there's a possibility that's more
No, there's no possibility.
feasible than the helio-nonsensical.
That is more feasible than living on a sphere with the circling sun in Antarctica, is it, Dave? At least he's dropped the nonsense about the laser in the sky.
Helium and hydrogen space vacuum burning ball, which you can't have gas not contained, especially in a vacuum, right? If I took all the air disappeared outside my house and I opened the window, all the air would just leave my house instantly. It would equalize instantly. But for some reason in space, it doesn't do that.
Jesus Christ. Oh, well, that was the big argument that we was all waiting for anyway. What about the final experiment? Yeah, but anyway, I don't believe any of that. I'm not a sky earther, and let's look at this absolute fucking nonsense with two suns on a cylinder, and everyone went, and then I'm going to go. Super honest there from Dave. Please support the show. buymeacoffee.com/whatcast. We got through it. See you later.